What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Another Perspective. I'm your host, Jazz, and today I want to invite a level of introspection that will provide you a deeper understanding of yourself. I want to ask, how do you show up when opportunity presents itself? Are you hesitant about it, or are you open to it? Or is it simply just dependent on the type of opportunity that is being presented to you? Either way, there is a reason why we show up in the ways that we do. And it's usually due to something that's subconsciously hidden within us. So let's talk about it. Let's explore it. Receptivity versus resistance. I attended the Black Effect Podcast Festival and I had a good time. I really did. I got to mix, I got to mingle, I got to network, I got to meet and connect with some amazing people, and it showed me a lot about myself. It also inspired this episode today that I will be putting out. Naturally, I am an introverted person, and I have a social battery, and it doesn't always come with a full charge. So, as you can imagine, for someone like me, what me being in that environment kind of felt like, right? But I also knew a few things about myself. If I'm genuinely interested in something, I will try it at least once. I also knew that I have a way about myself with being charismatic and leaning into that. But one thing that I didn't know would be the outcome, the result of that day. So regardless, I still decided to, just put myself out there and see what comes of it. And it's funny because I walked in there with a pocket full of cards and, a few friends who also had pockets full of cards. And by the time we left, we didn't have any. So just keep that in mind while I'm telling this brief story. You had your people that were also conversing in the crowd. You had the stage set up. You had some people who did not look approachable, which I don't know why you would go to a podcast festival and not expect to be approached, but that's neither here nor there. Point is, I put myself out there. I took advantage of the opportunity. And even with the people who didn't look approachable, I approached them anyway. That turned into, maybe a smirk or a smile or a joke and a laugh in a good conversation. I knew that I had something to offer. And I knew that I had a strong belief in myself as well. So that's what ultimately enticed me to be able to step out and put myself out there. That day, I learned more about opportunity than just reading the room. I learned how to position myself. I learned how to put myself out there regardless of what I was given in return. Because being a person who normally don't participate in those type of activities, it opened me up. And it also got me to wonder, what's the determining factor for being receptive versus being resistant? I mean, think about it. We all have experiences in life that we think could be favorable experiences, and we also have those that we don't think would be favorable experiences, right? And my interpretation of that is because we automatically think we'll know the outcome. We think we'll know the result, which is hard to claim because, ironically, the experiences or the things that we think are good for us sometimes don't end up being that thing that is good for us. And the things that we shy away from and hold back or limit ourselves with ultimately be the risk that's well worth the reward. So why is that? Realistically, it boils down to belief. You see, if you have a strong belief in something, you're likelier to take action on it. You're likelier to be receptive of it. When you have a weak belief of something, you're more likely to fear it. You're more likely to be resistant toward it. If you haven't thought about it, fear is not random. Fear comes from our own experiences, our own conditioning, and just a lot of times what we're told, what we're taught. That is what creates fear, and that is what shapes belief. We take those past experiences, we take those past teachings on as our truth. But is it always beneficial for us to limit ourselves due to those experiences or what we're taught? So, how do we determine where we stand on the belief spectrum? And how do we know if it's benefiting us or if it is limiting us in some way? Pay attention to your response when the opportunity is presented. Notice the pull. Notice if it's a pull towards it or notice if it's a pull away from it. And observe that energy that you feel. For example, like, let's say you have an interest or there's a certain career you want for yourself. And more oftentimes than not, we'll hear this when it comes down to something unconventional, where you might want to be an artist, you might want to be a writer, you might want to be an actor, you might want to be a musician. You might get responses that are more like, go get a job, something realistic, go to school. And not to say that there's anything wrong with going to school, because you have people that will thrive in something that is conventional, whether it's a doctor, a lawyer, or whatever else. But a lot of times for the unconventional professions, it's been instilled in us to be fearful, to second guess it. And even the opposite side of that, right? Sometimes you do get the support you need and you're less likely to overthink it and you do go for it, right? Until you finally get what you're after. Point is, if you truly believe in something, or even if you believe it in a way where you fear it, you're going to follow through with a response that is in alignment with what that belief is. If you're fearful of something, you're going to pull away from it. If you believe in something, a strong belief, if you have a strong belief in something, you're going to follow through with it, right? And so I think that it's worth it to ask ourselves, is this response, is my resistance to this particular opportunity respective or coming from a space of fear of a negative outcome, right? Or is my receptivity to this opportunity coming from a sense of a strong belief for a positive outcome? And to determine whether it's something you should lean into either way, you have to be able to discern what is in alignment for you versus what isn't. But the only way that you could really determine that is through your own experience, not anyone else's. You know, it's too often that we take on other people's experiences as our own. And we allow that to shape the way we go at something or the way that we approach something and the results that we expect from a situation. But when you have the understanding that life in itself is full of uncertainty, you also begin to understand that your willingness to take chances should come from alignment, not your assumptions. So I'll leave you all with this because I'm going to close this out. But If you can take away anything from this conversation today, from my talk with you today, let it be this: taking advantage of opportunities either start or end with you. Your decisions are ultimately based on your ability to discern whether you are being limited or if your beliefs are limiting you. Please know that you play a powerful role in your story. You're the main character. Everyone else, they're just playing their part. And you get to decide how the chapter ends, and you also get to decide what the next one will look like. With all that said, y'all, this has been another perspective. I will see y'all next episode. And also, it's my birthday coming up. It'll likely be toward the end of the month by the time I tap back in with y'all. But have a good month. Peace and love. Another perspective. Peace.